So welcome to this video. Chances are if you're watching it, you either have bought a website from Flippa or you're looking to buy a website from Flippa. I'm going to be giving you some helpful tips. I've bought and sold many websites from Flippa as well as apps and domain names. So I'm in a position where I've been using it for a number of years and I can look at a website within 5 minutes. I can sort of work out whether that's going to be a good investment for myself. So I treat buying websites as an investment. I see it as a business, no matter how small they are. If it makes £20, $20 per month, I'm very happy with it and I'll be looking to invest my time into it. So I'm going to talk about three sort of, I want to say scams, but three things that you want to avoid and look at and be very aware of when you actually are buying a website. So with Flippa, they obviously have, the traffic element stored on the website. So people can link when they're selling, they can link their Google Analytics with the Flippa auction. So it's very sort of secure and it's obviously can't be tricked. However, there is fake traffic. A lot of companies do sell fake traffic online. There's a lot of businesses that actually do this as a business model and they're relatively cheap to buy. What you want to look for with fake traffic is a very high amount of referral traffic or direct traffic. Organic traffic isn't going to be, it's very hard to fake. And if it is faked, it's only going to be faked for probably about 1 month before Google Analytics just wipe it off and it doesn't show up anymore. What you want to do is make sure that there's not, high levels of traffic from China, India, unless it's very targeted to that region or it's in that language. And how you want to avoid this is asking the seller if you can access their Google Analytics. You don't want to buy a website if you haven't looked at the Google Analytics. Go on the organic section, click behaviors, check what pages people are landing on. If it's just the home page they're landing on, chances are it doesn't rank for anything. So you really want to look at what keywords are showing up in the organic search. If it's a small site, also just still look at it. It's very worth to do so. If a seller doesn't want to give you Google Analytics, ask for screenshots. If they don't want to give you access, if they're not going to do that, chances are you don't actually want to buy from them. And second point brings me to these sorts of sellers that it's a very tricky one. Now, they make a website, it lasts probably about a year. And it brings me to another point, which you want to buy websites that are older than a year, hopefully 2 years older, more as well. And the reason being, a lot of companies or a lot of people will sell websites that have bad backlink profiles. So the backlinks aren't as good. So what you want to do is you want to go to Href, look at the backlink profile. If it's all irrelevant content or they're not linking from any good sites, chances are it's got a bad backlink profile. What happens is there's usually an upwards trend in the traffic. So when they sell it, it's sort of at the peak, or that month's traffic that isn't coming in. So if they're showing you June's traffic from last month is very high, it's at the top. July's will probably be like that. It will fall down and they're selling it quickly to get rid of it. And they're only going to blame you once you brought it. They're going to say, look, you made the changes, or Google's, because it's changed hands, it's going to take a while for the traffic to go up. What really and truly does happen, I've been caught out a few times with this scam, and I see it non-stop. People are just bidding on these websites and I know that it's just going to plummet. What they do is they buy a backlink profile that lasts well for 6 months and then suddenly bang, it gets hit by a Google penalty and it just goes down. I used to look at website traffics that had an upward trend and think, wow, I'm gonna, buy this and it's gonna go to the moon. But really and truly, who's gonna sell a site that is growing month after month and they're putting so much hard work in, unless it's very overvalued as well. And now, if it's very overvalued and it's got a nice upward trend of about 5 to 10%, you shouldn't see big spikes or up and downs in traffic. If you see it up and down in a trend, you don't want to buy it. Treat it like, a stock market. You wouldn't buy something that's been shooting up for ages because eventually it's going to go down, unless it's a really clean cut website. But if you're looking for those sorts of websites, probably you're going to be looking to pay 20 grand, $20,000 or more with it. So don't look at websites with that. Check out their backlink profile beforehand for every site you're bidding on. Actually check it out. There shouldn't be any sort of dodgy backlinks in that. You want to avoid it. And you want to see sort of organic traffic, which brings me to the third point, is you only want to buy sites with organic traffic. You don't want to buy websites that have large social media traffic or social traffic or direct traffic. Direct traffic is a dodgy one. It's usually 80% of it actually comes from search engines, but Google Analytics doesn't show it correctly. And you really want to find websites that have organic traffic, at least 80% or more. Anything more than that, I've seen a story. I nearly bought a website for quite a high amount. It had a lot of social traffic, and what this seller was doing when I looked into it, he had a really big social media page, or a number of pages, I think, and he would make a website, send all the traffic there for a few months, sell the website, and then he'll pull all the links off and change it to another domain and keep reselling it over and over and over. Once it hits 1 or 2 months, he'll just take all the links off and he'll say, you damaged the website. I mean, he wasn't actually selling the pages, but he'll say, look, the links are staying there, the traffic's coming in every month, I'm not going to change anything. So it's very hard to get your money back after that period as well, and you're just left with out of pocket and a really crappy website that doesn't rank very well. Organic traffic is also the highest converting traffic. So with organic traffic, it's the one that comes from search engines. It's very keyword targeted. So if someone searches the best car to buy in London, that's very targeted, and that person is actually looking for it. Whereas social media, if they click a nice picture, they go there and then they come back off back to Facebook or Twitter or whatever they're on as well. So you really want to avoid that. Another thing is look where the traffic is coming from. So if you've got traffic from tier 3 or tier 2 countries, which, no disrespect, but traffic from China, India, Pakistan isn't going to convert very well. They're not really a buying market at the moment. They don't really have, they don't spend a lot of money online, so advertisers don't target them. And if you're looking at countries like, Bangladesh, there's no one's really going to buy an Amazon product on there. A lot of the companies won't actually, pay ads, and you're probably going to get a few pence for that. So even if the traffic is high, sort of avoid it. You want traffic from at least the top 3 tier 1 countries. So you want ideally United States of America, United Kingdom and Canada. They're the highest paying websites or ad revenue websites, and they have their best conversion rate as well. Targeting America, because the population is the largest as well, is a fantastic thing to do. So it brings me to a bit of the negatives, but these are just some basic things you want to avoid and how to avoid them and what to do. So do your due diligence and don't rush with these websites when you're buying them. Now, what you want to look at when you're buying a website and what you ideally want to see, believe it or not, is if it's a passive website and it's earning passively and you really want to earn from it, you want a flat traffic. You want a little up and down, no more than 2% change every month. Some websites go like this and they're very seasonal. Christmas time they boom, or summertime they boom, or winter they boom. If you've got, let's say, a small website on snowmobiles, obviously you're going to have a peak like that, but you want at least 2 years revenue and you want at least 2 years traffic. Now this is very difficult to find. I mean, these websites, people don't actually sell them. I've got websites that I'll never sell because I haven't done anything for them for ages, and they're doing, they're earning money. What websites typically, how much you want to pay for a website is probably about 20 to 30 times its revenue. So if it makes $100 a month, you want to pay $2,000 to $3,000 for the website. Give or take, if you like the website and you think it's going to do well, I mean, I would happily pay $3,000 for a good website like I've described, if it makes $100 per month. Now, the real money and revenue is going to be in websites that haven't been updated, like blogs. If they haven't been updated for a while and they're still bringing consistent traffic, all you do when you buy them is you add a load of content on there, update the website, change the theme, give it a facelift. That's where the real money is. When I see websites that I've just described and they haven't been updated for 6 months, I know if I add 20 long articles, high quality articles to the website, I know literally the traffic's gonna double sometimes, because they've got a very strong domain, they've got domain authority, they're doing very well. If it hasn't had a spammy backlink profile, chances are this website will probably double in value. I bought a website which I made a video on, how I bought it, how much I paid, and it's gone up 5 times in revenue. It was a very small site. I only paid $800 for it, but it's probably worth, you know, $2,000 to $5,000 when I sell it. So it's a very good return, and it's earning good money now as well. Another important thing to look at is obviously the financials. It should really do the same as well. It shouldn't really be dipping. I mean, Amazon products can have, you know, one good month and then one bad month, but you want at least 6 months to a year of Amazon product selling on there. AdSense shouldn't dip. There shouldn't be a 20% mark. So if it's earning $100, it shouldn't drop below 70 or 80, depending on what sort of website it is. If it's dropping in half the value and it's going back up and down, it's kind of a telltale sign that, you know, the ranking isn't stable on it. It's moving up and down the search engines as well. So believe it or not, you don't want an upward trend. You want a flat line. You want a smooth flat line going across for 1 year, 5,000 traffic every month. That's what you want to see with that. Now, another tip when you buy a website is how to get a bargain. Now, most of the websites I buy is through contacting the seller directly. So to list a website on Flippa, I think it costs $50 at the moment. So if I've got a website that doesn't earn too much, and let's say $100 or $50 a month, I want $1,000 for it, which is a fair amount if it makes $50. Anything more than that, so I put a reserve price, I list it on Flippa. What you want to do is you want to message that seller when it's at 30 days, so they get 30 days from the auction to let it run down. You want to say, look, I'm very interested in your website, I would like to purchase it, do you have a price in mind? And sometimes the reserve price isn't shown, and what you want to do is try and negotiate with them and try and get, you know, 20 to 30 times the revenue. Try to underprice it. So if it's worth two grand, let's say, you want to say 1,300 or 1,700, between that range, so you get a good deal and you get your money investment. You recoup your investment quicker as well. With that, chances are people will not want to sell it. I find, you know, 50% of people will say yeah, some people will say no, I just want it to go to auction, because these websites do sell well. There's a high demand for them, so if you buy them, fix them up, you can sell them quite easily as well. So what you want to do is go back to, you know, messaging them and keep in contact with them. I've bought websites where I've followed up, people have ignored my message afterwards, you know, but when the auction runs down, it doesn't get the price that they want. If the auction went to, you know, 1,200 and you've bid 1,300, 100% they're going to take your offer at the end of the day. So it's a bit of luck. I find that niches where people aren't interested in are the websites you want to buy. So I bought a website on termites, but if that website was about cats and dogs, people would really like that website and they'll really buy it. So what you want to do is, you know, don't rush when you buy the website. Take your time with it. You can really pick up a website. It's like buying a property. You won't just buy the first property you see. You really want to, you know, look at 100 websites, 100 different properties, and then fix one up, sell it, or keep it for passive income. My idea is to obviously build up a nice portfolio of websites that generate passive income, and just regenerating the profit. So if I get £500 this month or $500 this month, I'm going to use that, stack up 2-3 months, and then I'm going to buy another website, and it's going to add, you know, $550 I'm going to make every month. So it's going to go on and on. I want a website where I don't have to touch it, and if I'm honest, maybe just a few updates here and there every month. So yeah, Flippa is a fantastic website, but do your due diligence with the website.